This is what it looks like when you try to ride every single ride at Universal Orlando during one of the busiest seasons of the year. That's right, tonight I'm trying to ride every single ride in both Universal parks during one of the most crowded days of the whole season. Now we've actually successfully ridden everything at Universal Orlando in one day with and without Express. Emma has done both. But you guys always ask us, can you try this on a busy day? So I am here during Halloween Horror Nights season on a Friday with the Halloween Horror Nights about a week before Halloween. One of the most slammed times to be at Universal Orlando, and we have to contend with one of the parks closing at 5. So can I ride every ride in both parks in one day under these conditions? And will it be worth the suffering? I've already found out. Now it's your turn. Good morning. I am in the parking deck still, headed in. About 20 minutes before early entry, which is a little later than I wanted to get here, but I think we're still gonna be okay. We're gonna head straight to Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. So we are using early entry at Islands of Adventure, and it's available to hotel guests and annual pass holders. So we are gonna head in, knock out Hagrid's very first thing, hopefully. I'm a little nervous, it is a Friday. Universal Orlando definitely has lower crowds on weekdays than it does on weekends, unlike Disney where it's kind of busy all the time. That said, Friday, close to the weekend, people doing 3-day weekends could be here. And it's Halloween Horror Nights tonight, so there might be some folks doing all day at the parks and then all night at Halloween Horror Nights. And good for them, honestly. I don't have that energy. Over 24 rides, only 12 hours. Can we ride every ride at Universal Orlando Resort, both parks, without using the Express Pass to skip the lines with just one day to do it? I'm not sure, but we're gonna find out. And I'm gonna use every single Universal tip at my disposal to make it happen. I have been coming to Universal for years and years and years, and I've been an annual pass holder for about 5 years now. Absolutely love it here. Cannot wait for Epic Universe, which at the day I'm filming this, they announced yesterday that Epic Universe, the new park coming to Universal Orlando, will open on May 22nd of 2025, and your girl is pumped. I do not think I'd be able to ride all the rides at all 3 Universal parks in one day, but who knows, maybe we try it or try and no sleep once Epic Universe opens. But all the tips and strategies that I'm going to be using today are a great way to ride everything you want to ride at Universal as well, whether or not you actually are trying to ride everything in one day. You can use these tips to make sure you get on all of your must-dos and feel little to no stress during your Universal day or days. There are 2 Universal parks. We are starting at Islands of Adventure. This was the second Universal park to open and does have an islands theme where each of the lands is kind of a different landing for typically some kind of mystical world intellectual property. We are going to be beelining for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. The single most popular ride at either of the 2 Universal parks is Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. Miranda, who's our reporter, one of our AllEars reporters, told me 2 days ago that the lines weren't that bad. Hagrid's was only 110 minutes in the middle of the day, which actually is not that bad. That's how popular Hagrid's is. Okay, the line is quite long, but the good news is typically they have a big line over there too, and they don't, so I actually think it's not that much longer than usual. Hopefully it's just not indicative of a wild crowds day. If you watch my no sleep challenge over in Disney World, you'll know that crowds can make a big difference in success level. The line, I was in that line to get into Islands of Adventure at 7:45. I'm walking into the park now at 8:13. So already a bit of a long wait to get into the park this morning. I did end up in a slower ticket scanning line, which can happen. So, you know, I was in that line where all the other lines were passing me. But I couldn't get in those lines because I was waiting in the slow line. You know, if this is our one long wait of the day, then I am a happy camper. We're gonna find out if Hagrid's single rider line is open this early in the morning. I am really curious because Hagrid's has a single rider line. It's not typically worth it because it often takes as long or just a little bit shorter than the regular line. You don't get to ride with your friends and family, and you are typically in the sidecar instead of on the bike. So it's got its cons. I don't typically recommend it, but I'm wondering if first thing in the morning, right when the line queue is filling in for the day, if the single rider line can get you on much faster before it starts to back up. Oh, you know what I do want to check is if Hagrid's is open. Because if there's a delay, which based on the number of people who've walked in and how few people I saw on Velocicoaster just now, I don't think there is one, but I just want to check for sure. Universal app is going to be your ticket for that. Hagrid's is open. It says it has a 105-minute wait. What's Velocicoaster doing? I am at this time wavering. You've caught me. This is the furthest back I've ever seen the Hagrid's line. I am gonna bail. I'm gonna bail. And I'm gonna try to do it last thing instead, maybe. And we're gonna go to Velocicoaster. Because look at the difference in people. And Velocicoaster will save us some time too. Not like Hagrid's, but frankly, we're not gonna wait much longer than 105 for Hagrid's later in the day. So it's just not worth doing. We might as well knock out these early entry attractions. Velocicoaster, I might even be able to get the other two Wizarding World rides before when we want to hop over to Universal Studios. Or maybe I go straight over to Universal Studios. The moral of the story is I'm not gonna waste these precious early hours of the day where everybody else is when there's this big challenge on the line. Will that be the wrong decision? Only time will tell. Remember, 105-minute posted for Hagrid's. Everything else that's open, 5, 15, 20-minute wait. Really not bad. This will wake us up. Jurassic World Velocicoaster. This is a high-speed attraction. Takes you into the world of Jurassic World. You are a visitor there. And they've gotten feedback at the park that they need more thrill, more exciting attractions. So what have they done? They've created a coaster through the raptor paddock. Maybe dangerous, maybe, sure. But fun? Yes. You do have to stow all of your items in lockers for this ride. You do go through metal detectors, so you can't even have your phone on you once you get up close to the front. The lockers are inside the queue. You don't have to worry about doing it outside the queue. But with all Universal rides you'll see today, you cannot film on the ride. So any footage seen in this video is official Universal footage that we are using because you can't film on Universal Orlando attractions. Velocicoaster, definitely gonna be the most thrilling ride at Universal right now. It is so fast, it is so high, 150 feet, 70 miles per hour. It's fast, it's intense. I ask sometimes, like, do my glasses down my face? And the answer is yes, they do. But on Velocicoaster, I go like this sometimes, just to make sure that they stay there. I'm looking at wait times right now to see what I want to do next. I could head over to Universal Studios. I kind of want to take advantage of road crop over there and then come back over here. I don't know. It's kind of like a gamble because it's like, are people starting their day in Universal Studios because they know that Islands of Adventure closes later because of Halloween Horror Nights? Or people are starting their day at Islands of Adventure because they're headed to Halloween Horror Nights, so they're just going to stay at Universal Studios. It is hard to say. Waits are getting higher. We've got 120 minutes for Hagrid's, which I think is what it's going to peak at, which is a really good thing. We might hit up that single rider line right now. The queue is completely full. Hagrid's is backed all the way out into Lost Continent with a full queue. So that's a long, long, long line. Let's see if we can get a little lucky here with the single rider line being open. If not, let's do the other Harry Potter rides until the single rider line opens. I think it's a good call. Potentially making a massive mistake. Potentially finding a major new hack. Hard to say. Line's super long for Hagrid still. And the single rider line is still closed. I asked the team members, like, what time does the single rider line, do they know what time it's gonna open? They said they have no idea, it changes every day. So I don't know when they're gonna open it, but I'm just gonna keep riding stuff around here until they do, because if I can get in the single rider line right when it opens, just by keeping a close eye on it, and we could be in business, baby. For now, while I wait for that single rider line to open, we're gonna hop on Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. This is a really fun simulator attraction where the queue takes you all through Hogwarts Castle. The queue is a must-do. You have to walk this queue. Even if you do not ride the ride, you chicken exit, you don't want to get motion sick, because this ride is very motion sickness inducing, then you still gotta walk the queue. It is so incredible. And it says it's a 15-minute wait, which is how long it takes to walk the queue. So that's a walk-on. So we are gonna head on in. Now this next tip isn't doable for everyone, but it can save you a ton of time. So with the Velocicoaster, we went through metal detectors. That will be true for a couple other rides we do today. And we had to take everything out of our pockets, everything, even keys, even a phone. With many, many rides at Universal, you cannot ride with any bags unless it can go around your hip, like this. So if you can bring a fanny pack to Universal, that can save you a ton of time going to and from the lockers. In fact, I was staying at Evermore Resort last night, which that video is coming to the channel soon, and I hadn't brought a fanny pack, and I almost rescheduled this video because I thought that was that big of a game changer. Luckily, I was able to pick one up, so I was able to get my fanny pack. Right when you walk inside, you'll find a single rider's break off to the left. I don't recommend using this for this ride because the wait can get very short towards the end of the day, especially right at the beginning of the day. And the queue is so amazing. And this skips pretty much the whole queue. But I saw a lot of people coming here right before me. We can't waste time. And look, sure enough, the line does go out of this room. It's really moving. So again, not necessary, and you want to see the queue. But we couldn't risk it. So here we are. I love that ride. I am a motion sickness girl, so my trick on that ride is to close my eyes when I see a big screen, open them when I feel a big movement. Usually I miss a bit of the ride, but I still get to see the really cool parts, and I don't get sick. Now what do? We pop over to Hagrid's. We see, hey, is a single rider line open? And then if it is, we get in it, and if it's not, we come ride Flight of the Hippogriff. It's officially 9 a.m., which means the rest of the park is open, including the Hogwarts Express. This is when I am making a deliberate choice at this point because I was planning on heading over to Universal Studios to start doing specifically the two rides that I'm nervous about getting a shorter wait for, which is Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts, which does have a single rider line, but can be a lengthy single rider wait, and Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, which often has a very long wait for little to no reason. Oop, I'm seeing people in the single rider line. Let's do it. False alarm, they were just letting some folks in who were separated from their family, and then they closed the single rider line off again. So we're gonna continue our movements here, doing some other stuff. Flight of the Hippogriff is kind of the more kid-geared coaster, family-friendly coaster. This one, the coaster itself, it's fun. It is not a must-do, but I do think worth doing at least once because there is an incredible Buckbeak animatronic. Posted 15-minute wait. Looks like it's gonna be more like 5 or 10. All right, I'm looking through wait times in the Universal app just to kind of get an idea of how things look. The Universal app has its pros and its cons. It's not as easy to navigate, I think, as the Disney app. However, it also has some abilities the Disney app doesn't have that I really wish it did. For one, there's this thing you can do where you can set yourself wait time alerts. So you go into an attraction, if I'm like, oh, if Minions drops to 20, I want to know, set an alert. I will get a push notification if this ride drops to 20 minutes. It's amazing. Let's see, what else do I want to know? I need to know, the Mummy has been closed this morning. Where is the Mummy? Here it is. Oh, it's open. Okay, we're fine. It wasn't open a minute ago. But you can also, if a ride goes down, you can set it to let you know if a ride is going to open. So I just highly recommend using those wait time alerts. Every time I'm trying to do a bunch of rides at Universal, I'm always using the wait time alerts. Works for Halloween Horror Nights haunted houses too. There's the Buckbeak animatronic. And it bows to you when you go by on the coaster. Okay, it is time once again for us to check the single rider. Flight of the Hippogriff was such a blast. It's certainly not a must-do unless you're like a mega Harry Potter fan, really want to see that. Buckbeak, it's fun though. It whips you around a little faster, you go a little higher than you might expect. Emma usually gets a little surprised that her fear of heights kicks in on Flight of the Hippogriff. The other thing that I want to note about Universal is that Universal, some rides open later after the park opens. So it's possible to continue rope dropping. There's even a ride over in Universal Studios, King and Kodos Twirl and Hurl, that doesn't open till 11. Sometimes Men in Black Alien Attack doesn't open till 11. So if you're there right at 11, you're going to be one of the first people to ride it. Even if you've already used plenty of rope drop time. That's true in this park with Skull Island Reign of Kong, which I might grab if we still haven't had our single rider line open. And I just saw a man get turned away from the single rider line. So we're gonna go this way. We're gonna take the shortcut to Jurassic Park. I'm playing a dangerous game here because though this is a good strategy, Universal Studios closes at 5 today, 5 p.m. for Halloween Horror Nights tonight. So that's the other park. I actually have until 8 p.m. in this park, but only until 5 p.m. in Universal Studios. And if I don't give myself enough time over there, it could cause us some big problems. Still a 10-minute wait over on the Hogwarts Express. The Hogwarts Express is kind of a hybrid ride and method of transportation. It takes you over to the other park. You do need park admission to both parks. You need a 2-park ticket to be able to use it, to ride it. I am going to take the Hogwarts Express. It does count as a ride. If our Hagrid's strategy pays off, I think we will have made a good decision. Velocicoaster's up to 110 minutes. Still short waits around the rest of the park, so I'm gonna keep moving and popping back to Hagrid's. This is silly, this is silly, this is silly. It's silly. My Disney World no sleep challenge, I had to do 42,000 steps in one day. I do not think I'm gonna do quite that here. That was 18 miles. But I'll keep you guys updated on my step count at the end of the video. How many steps it took to ride every Universal ride in one day, or close to it if we fail, which would be very sad. River Adventure is one of, honestly, my favorite rides at Universal. It is a boat ride where you are touring Jurassic Park. It does need a little TLC. It has a lot of issues. Sometimes a lot of the effects aren't working, but it's a fun, classic Universal ride, in my opinion, where you are in a ride vehicle, you see a crashed version of the vehicle you're in, and then things go wrong, as the dinosaurs have gotten out. Who could have seen it coming? There's only been like 8 movies about it by now, but you know what? We got to give them some grace, I guess, because they're making more, I'm sure. But yeah, oh, they are at such a walk-on. Get this, the only wet I got was from sitting in the seat. Even on the big splash, I didn't get wet. I think it actually might have been because our boat wasn't full. So maybe if you don't want to get super wet on Jurassic Park River Adventure, but you still want to ride it, maybe go early, because our boat was only 3 of the rows had people in them. And even the folks in the very front row, they got, you know, their splash that they wanted, but they didn't even get soaked. And us in the back didn't get wet at all. So maybe when the boats are a little lighter, I don't know. I am not a physicist. All right, Skull Island Reign of Kong. This is the King Kong themed attraction. Basically, you get in a bus and it takes you into Skull Island, where King Kong faces off with dinosaurs. I have mixed feelings about this ride. It's the same ride system as Fast and Furious Supercharged, which is a notoriously bad ride over at Universal Studios. We actually do not have to ride it today because it is closed right now because it is being used as a Halloween Horror Nights house. And I guess also closed for refurbishment. So we don't have to worry about it. AllEars Ride Challenge house rules are that if a ride is closed for the entire duration of a park day, it does not count towards the challenge. The queue for this ride is really cool. It's very scary and dark. There are a lot of skulls, and there's like an animatronic shaman in here that's quite scary. I actually think the ride is pretty good. I think the 3D effects look good. Is it a must-do? No. In fact, it's one that I skip more often than not, but it's still, like, it's not a bad ride. It's thrilling. Yeah, that's scary. The screens have pretty good effects, and then at the end you see a giant King Kong animatronic, which is what I like about it. So yeah, she's scary. Just need you guys to know that I just walked full speed into a part of the queue that was chained off like this, and I got like clotheslined right at the hips. Nobody saw it, but I'm telling you guys that it happened. I like walked into it hard enough that like it still hurts. There's our bus. Let's ride. Okay, I am off Reign of Kong. I am back in the Jurassic area. Honestly, again, not a must-do. I don't think it's as bad as Fast and Furious, and I don't think it's as bad as some folks say it is. Everybody in my ride vehicle was really enjoying it, with like screaming at the scary parts and like, oh, when like Kong came in. They were really having fun, and it feels like being a random bystander in a monster movie. It's ridiculous. The effects are sometimes shaky, but you're feeling excited. I'm thinking we hop over and start working on Universal Studios, because I'm pretty sure I can do all 3 of those lands and still get in line for Hagrid's at the last minute the park is open if the single rider line isn't open. If it's open right now, we're getting in it. If it's not open, we're leaving. Yeah, single rider line is blocked. Okay, we're out of here. I checked the hours on the water rides and they are open till 8 p.m. So we are fine there, obviously barring any delays that we can't control. We have the Hogwarts Express here. I'm gonna scan my ticket and then ride on over to Universal Studios. Now the Hogwarts Express can be a bit of a tricky one because it does have very short waits typically in the morning because people aren't hopping yet. They're doing all of one park before they hop to the other park. So you'll get 10-minute waits. You'll be on the next train or the train after that. But as you start to get to the middle of the day and into the afternoon, especially when a park closes early like Universal Studios, you will see that the waits for this start to get a lot longer. My plan for caffeine is to just take straight espresso shots a little later in the morning. And then food, I don't know, we'll figure it out. Made it to Universal Studios. Ride on the train was nice. Most people like the ride from Universal Studios to Islands of Adventure better. I like it going this way better. For one, I like the scenes that you see coming this way better because I like seeing the Weasley twins and Malfoy Manor. The scenes going both ways are really cool. But the thing most people like is riding the train actually the way that it would be ridden in the beginning of the movies, which is where it's from King Cross to Hogsmeade. So I totally get that. I just like the scenes a little better coming this way. Right now, I'm actually gonna head to a couple of weirder ones, not what you would think I'd prioritize. And all of the most popular rides in this park have single rider lines, except for one, which is Despicable Me Minion Mayhem. My plan for that one is the very last thing at Universal Studios. I will do Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, so we will deal with that a little later. There are two rides though that can get longer waits in the middle of the day that have shorter waits now while everybody is on popular stuff. And those are Roller Coaster, which is the recently rethemed roller coaster over in DreamWorks Land, and E.T. Adventure, which is a classic dark ride here at Universal. Both of those can get long waits. Neither of them have single rider, and both of them have short waits right now. So we're gonna go knock out DreamWorks Land. Heard it is only 10:30 a.m. and my step count is 8,400. So we're off to a great start. Update, the wait for ET. Look, the line's all the way out of the ride. Not doing it. So we are gonna pop into DreamWorks Land and do Roller Coaster, which still has a 5-minute wait. That one can get up pretty high in the afternoon just because it's newer and it's one of the like really good kid-geared coasters. Shrek and Donkey, I love them. I'm in a weird spot right now because Simpsons is 25, ET is 25. Those are not horrible waits for either one of those. But ET looks a bit worse than 25 when I was over here. I also think there might have just been like a weird holdup. Let's go look at the actual line. Look, you see how it's not like that anymore? Sometimes folks get confused with the ride entrance. There might be a big party trying to scan their express passes and it's taking a long time. And you'll just see weird, or people going in the wrong line. You'll see weird waits happening. Remember about Simpsons? I'm just gonna do this. This and Simpsons are kind of equal issues.
Earth people, our planet is dying. Find the one you call E.T.
40 minutes is not what I would have willingly waited for E.T. I like E.T. It's a weird ride. I don't think I needed to go to E.T.'s home planet, but you can on that ride. I'm getting a little bit stressed out at this point. It's not quite 12 yet. This park closes at 5. Keep that in mind. And there are just a couple of rides stressing me out at this point. The Simpsons ride is stressing me out because it's 35. Jimmy Fallon was up at 45. It apparently has dropped down to 15. Honestly, if that's still the case, I might go do it. I'm not waiting longer than 15 for the Jimmy Fallon ride. For everyone's information, I do hate that ride. I think it is the worst. I don't typically use like hate to describe rides. Usually I'm like, oh, it's just not my favorite. I hate the Jimmy Fallon ride. It makes me so sick. I am gonna ride it with my eyes just completely closed this time. It was good to do roller coaster when I did. I waited 5 minutes. I pretty much walked on, honestly. And it is now up to a 30-minute wait, so that was a good move. Here we go. Jimmy, we meet again. I have not ridden this ride in ages. Also, disclaimer, I used to like Jimmy Fallon, but I hate his ride. And it kind of made me like him a lot less. So, oh man, the things I do for a challenge. Kept my eyes closed the whole time. Went great. I also didn't even pick up 3D goggles because I knew I was going to keep my eyes closed. If you're a huge Tonight Show fan, maybe. Otherwise, I just don't think you need to ride that. All right, nothing is showing a particularly low weight right now, which means it's time that we kick in some single riders, knock out a bunch fast. It is still not quite 12, so that's good. Okay, Revenge of the Mummy. Quite a long wait for this one right now. I think 85 minutes. The single rider line is open, and this is an effective single rider line. In general, you can kind of guess how effective a single rider line is going to be by thinking about the way the vehicles are structured. 2 seats, if there's a single rider line, it's going to move kind of slow. 4 seats, it'll move faster. 3 seats is always going to be like the fastest single rider line. This is a long single rider line. No, not doing it. It'll get shorter. One thing about Transformers is a lot of times they stand in front of the single rider line, so it looks like it's closed. Oh, this is good. Okay. I got really scared there. I was starting to panic. But single rider line for Transformers is really effective.
The single rider line is for guests 40
because we pretty much just have these folks in front of us, and we'll be there. 15 minutes in the single rider, which really is not that bad for Transformers. I just wish it had been a walk-on because I'm getting stressed at this time. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, I am seeing some wait time improvement, limited, but it's there. And another good sign is that the Hogwarts Express going back over to Islands of Adventure is higher weight, which will be a problem for us later, but we're focusing on the now, because right now it's kind of a good thing because it does mean that folks are leaving this park. And hopefully they continue to do so because this park is too crowded. Okay, I'm about to ride Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. We've had a massive wait time drop at Mummy. It's dropped to 35 minutes, which means that single rider line is going to drop with it. I was going to try to clear the back of the park before we're going back up to Mummy, but I gotta make a decision. Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts is the most popular attraction in this park, but it has a fairly effective single rider line. On this ride, you'll join Harry, Ron, and Hermione because you'll run into them while you're trying to open your own vault at Gringotts. Things are going wrong at Gringotts when you're there. And you'll see Voldemort, Bellatrix. It's a blast. It is a story coaster, so there are some screens, some points where you're stopped and watching a scene, and then points where you launch back into a coaster. All right, everyone cross your fingers that the single rider line is nice to us. We just have to go down this hallway, up, and then we'll board. And this could move fast, or it could move very slow. We'll see. We're in luck. It moved pretty fast. It was a longer one. It was like a 10-minute delay. So not horrible, and not a walk-on, but not 40 minutes, which that single rider line, when it's back that far, it can really go either way. A double shot of espresso and the bacon and Gruyere egg bites, so I'm gonna pound these and then we're back at it. All right, we've got protein and caffeine in our system. That should help us a bit. Mummy's still looking good? I came here for it. 35 still. All right, let's do this. For real this time. Commit. The Mummy is a coaster that is themed to the Mummy movies from the 90s. Brendan Fraser is featured on the ride, and his role is Rick O'Connell. Actually, he plays Brendan Fraser on the ride. He's just dressed as Rick O'Connell. The story of this is that you're actually entering the movie set for the Mummy films, but it kind of seems like there might be a curse or something going around. It's a little unclear. No one really knows exactly if the curse is real or not. Some people believe it, some people don't. Rampant on the movie set because of some items they've used in the set. I don't know, we'll see. I'm the 4th single rider, and I waited about 15 minutes, so not bad. We've got a little bit of improvement to wait times in this park. The best wait time in the park is actually VillainCon Minion Blast, which is down to 15. But I am gonna have to walk between the two parks, I think, instead of taking the Hogwarts Express. So I don't want to be at the back of the park when I'm done. So I'm gonna go knock out the back of the park. My biggest concern back here is Simpsons. It is a 25-minute wait right now, which isn't bad. Problem is the other Simpsons attraction, King and Kodos Twirl and Hurl, which is just a Dumbo-style spinner attraction, is a 30-minute wait. And that doesn't work for me. Men in Black Alien Attack. This is my favorite ride in the park, for real. Shooter attraction where you are being trained to join the Men in Black. If you can make the cut, of course. Super fun. I get very high scores on it typically. They do have a single rider line. Skips the pre-show, but it's only a 20-minute wait, so the pre-show would probably be worth seeing in this instance. I don't even want to do the pre-show because it'll take up time, so we're skipping it. I did really badly. I was in a car with a couple people who were also pros at it. There's like good targets to hit. And I was in a car with a bunch of people who were good at it. And sure enough, I couldn't get any of the good targets. I only got 66,000. I usually get like 300-ish thousand. Yeah, not my best performance. Okay, now I think it's time for the Simpsons ride. It's a 25-minute wait. I think King and Kodos is more likely to drop faster than the Simpsons ride. 35. I think it's 25, actually, for real. Just kidding, the line's way outside. Let's look at King and Kodos. King and Kodos Twirl and Hurl looks a bit better. This is a Dumbo style pick you up, take you around attraction. It's got a twist in that there's a mini game where you have to try to fly your saucer up to hit the different Simpsons characters. You have to fly to their level. Super cute, super fun. Bit of a wait here for it. I would say we might get on it in 20. Still not ideal, but we gotta finish this park. It's currently 1:40, so we're doing okay. We're boarding. It was a long wait. It was about 25 minutes, I want to say, which is exactly what it was posted. It's just too long for a Dumbo-style attraction, except maybe Dumbo itself. Here's our flying saucer, though. Cannot film on the ride. Goodbye. I have good news and bad news. The good news is weights are dropping. The bad news is not for Simpsons, which is the closest one to me. And if I walk across the park, you have to walk back to Simpsons. But I can walk across the park in 5 minutes, whereas Simpsons is a 30-minute wait. And what if it doesn't drop? I think it's actually 30 minutes. Let's go look with our eyes. Because it's a 10-minute wait on VillainCon Minion Blast, only 25 on Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, and we have single rider for Rip Ride Rocket. I'm, again, trying to finish this park a little early so that we can get over and finish Islands of Adventure. Shorter than it was.
Second line on the right, express on the left.
Let's go see. Let's see. This could be the time to do it. Okay, this isn't bad. This is not bad at all. Locked in, it's happening. Simpsons ride, here we come. Done good today. We're about to go in the pre-show room. I waited 5 minutes. Sometimes you gotta look at the line. You gotta look at the line and be like, how long is that line really? That's what you gotta do sometimes. All right. Finished Simpsons. I am sleepy. 2:30. I'm crashing early. Usually I crash at 4. I don't know what's up. Might be a Coca-Cola in my future, although I don't know when I'm gonna have time to drink one. So we'll see. I'm headed to the front of the park now. Things are okay. They're okay. It's 2:38. The parade is happening. This is bad. Okay, I forgot the Mega Mix Movie Magic Parade is still going on, which means we are currently locked on the wrong side of it from all the rides we need to do. There's really no way around it. Luckily, this is the finale, so it's not too bad. That's so sick. Okay, Despicable Me Minion Mayhem has already gone up from the parade. VillainCon Minion Blast has stayed down. So 15-minute wait for VillainCon Minion Blast is not too shabby. This is an awesome ride. It is like a Blasters attraction where you can actually pair your Universal app with your blaster, and it keeps track of your score forever. It's a strange ride, and ride is kind of an interesting term because you're actually you're just standing on a moving walkway and then shooting at screens. It's kind of like a immersive video game. I really like it a lot, and I think it's worth doing at least once to see if you like it, especially if you like competitive games. We've got guns. We're getting on moving walkway, and I will see you after. All right, our next stop is Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. This one, not only, it's posted 45, I thought it was 15. 45, I have not been concerned about the wait for this one because there is a single rider line that moves very fast. Now this is another one where everything's gotta go in a locker, gotta go through metal detectors, so I will see you after. It gives me headaches. It's an intense coaster. It's a lot of head shaking. But you listen to the music that you pick, which is really fun. It's very thrilling. A lot of people really like it because it is a very thrilling roller coaster. Not my jam. That doesn't mean it's not for you. Not for you. It doesn't mean, whoa, I'm using like a million negatives. Okay, here's the deal. I just looked. Despicable Me Minion Mayhem is down to 35, which I'm attributing to it getting closer to Halloween Horror Nights time. So people, I think, are getting out of this park. I'm gonna wait for it. My other option was like go try to do like one Seuss ride and come back, but I think that's too dicey. So I'm gonna wait for it. I'm gonna get a frozen Coke. They have Coca-Cola Ices. And I need a kick in the pants right about now. Also, I forgot to tell you how long I waited. The single rider line for Rip Ride is like a mid single rider line. It's a 2x2 ride, but a lot of folks like ride alone or their family split up because somebody doesn't want to ride it. So I feel like it moves a little faster than the other 2x2s. I want to say I waited like 15 minutes when it's a posted 45-minute wait. Maybe that's 10 minutes. So really not bad at all to get on that ride. I highly recommend using the single rider line on most rides if you are willing and able to split up. Okay, this is definitely improved from when I was over here earlier. 35, that's better. And the express line isn't backed up, so this is what we're doing. It's been exactly 35 minutes. I'm about to go in the door to go into the pre-show. So it is 4:32. After this, we are going to book it over to Islands of Adventure on foot. So you do not have time to wait for that train. You can see it, but my one single tear is still on my face. I left it there to show you guys. I cry every time I'm on that ride. I don't really know why, but it just really gets me, man. Like Gru saving the girls and then them thinking he forgot their adoptiversary and getting him a present that they made, and then it's a little squashed. But then Gru didn't forget, and he says, "Well, how could I forget the most important day of my life?" I don't know how everybody doesn't cry at that ride. Do not know why I cry. It really gets me. Anyway, that's Universal Studios cleared. Thank goodness we cleared it with 10 minutes to spare. As usual, I wish I was staying for Halloween Horror Nights. I hate every time I have to be adjacent to Halloween Horror Nights and don't get to stay. It's horrible. 10 more rides to do before Hagrid's. Hagrid's, as long as I'm in line for it. By the last minute, the park is open 7:59 tonight, and we're good. That is one thing about Universal, is the park hours are limited. Maybe it would have been smart to like do the HHN, the rides that are open during HHN during HHN. It's technically a separately ticketed event, so I don't think it would count for my one-day challenge, but still. So one way to get between the two parks is with the Hogwarts Express, which we did earlier to check it off. The other way is to walk between the two park entrances, which you can do just by going out the front, turning right if you're going to Islands, turning left if you're going to Studios, and then just walking really not that far at all. Now, park hopping is going to get a little bit more complicated for Universal Orlando with the opening of Epic Universe, because Epic Universe is not walking distance from any of the existing parks or hotels. It's down the road a couple miles. Universal will have bus transportation to Epic Universe from the parks, but that commute over there could be a little bit different, a little bit more like getting between Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom over in Disney World. Universal Studios is hard enough to retrace steps. Islands of Adventure is even worse. because there's that giant lagoon in the middle. We did sort of the back side of the park this morning, except for Hagrid. We were dealing with the front side of the park. I think I'm gonna go right into Seuss, then left into, I think I'm gonna go right into Seuss, then we'll do Marvel, then we'll do Toon Lagoon as our penultimate land before returning to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, where it tried to all start this morning to do Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. Islands of Adventure is going to start to get busier here because HHN is starting. I did account for this. I knew it would happen. So hopefully it doesn't cause us too much issue. That's why I knocked out as much as I did this morning. I think we're going to grab Carousel and One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. Highway in the Sky Seuss Trolley train ride is probably, honestly, our problem over here. No single rider line, and it is a 40-minute wait right now. It will likely remain so because it is pretty popular and very low capacity, family geared. So luckily, One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish should not give us too much trouble. I really love this ride because it's got an added element. Earlier with King and Kodos, we had the try to hit the Simpsons characters, which is fun, but it's not that involved. On this ride, if you listen to the Seuss rhyme and follow the instructions, you don't get wet. And if you don't listen, you do get wet, and I love that. Also, look at the trellises in the queue. What is going on? These are so beautiful. About to board. We are 20-minute wait for that, which was too long, so I'm stressed. But Carousel is 5 minutes, which isn't bad. That's literally a walk-on, pretty much. Let's check out Highway in the Sky. I've got an alert on Dudley Do Right Swiftsall Falls because it's currently saying an hour, which is too many. But hopefully it'll cool off and people won't want to ride anymore. It popped back up to 35, which I don't love. I wanted to be done with Seuss Landing by 6. It's 5:30 right now because Red Fish, Blue Fish took too long. I did have fun. I like following the little ride. You have to pay attention to what fish you're in to not get wet. It's great. Let's just see what happens visually in here. Because it did drop and then it popped back up. So, see if it looks accurate. If it's accurately 35, I don't know what we'll do. Yeah, no. Good news and bad news. The bad news, my hair looks like this. That's just normal news. The bad news is the carousel is at an achingly slow pace. I think I've been here for 20 minutes. Just because it takes a long time for them to get people seated. I'm on the next ride. It's fine. The good news is Dudley's did drop as expected. It is no longer 60 minutes. It's down to 25. It will probably continue dropping. I am very stressed at this time because it is almost 6 and I need my pace to be faster than this. Carousel is a 30-minute wait. Now, ooh, the way the lines change. And Cat in the Hat's 40, and High in the Sky Seuss Trolley is 60. We are getting out of Seuss Land. We've got 2 more rides here. We only did 2 in the hour that I need to do 4. We're in dire need at this point. One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish is a 45-minute wait. So things are going wild. Now, Marvel and Toon Lagoon appear to be lightening up. So apparently everyone is in Seuss Landing at this time. Hopefully they'll clear out before the park closes. I would call Seuss Landing today a demoralizing experience. Look, I'm on a pathway that's not going the right direction because it's all bendy. Okay, we've got to get out of here. You can see that sun dipping. Don't love it. 6:10, it's 6:10 and I only did half of what I wanted to do in Seuss Landing. The Hulk single rider line will save us, I think. Typically, Hulk single rider, especially towards the end of the day, walk on. So we should be able to Hulk out pretty quickly, and then we will find ourselves on Stormfirst Accelatron. Honestly, I might, well, no, because you guys can come on Stormfirst Accelatron or in the line. Maybe do Stormfirst Accelatron first. Just in case you're curious, Hagrid's is up at a 150-minute wait. Hopefully it's not that bad when we actually do that wait at the end of the night. We are in Marvel Superhero Island. Confusing because Disney owns Marvel, but Universal had the theme park rights first. And as it stands, they still have the theme park rights to anything that they used the rights for. So anything that's in Marvel Superhero Landing, they have the rights to those characters. That's why Disney can use Guardians of the Galaxy in Epcot. And it's actually split by the Mississippi River. And Universal did not use Marvel on the West Coast, which is why you'll see Marvel Avengers Campus at Disneyland, because it's on the other side of the Mississippi River. Universal didn't use the Marvel rights over there. Hulk is our final attraction where we do need to lock our stuff up, all of it, because we're going through metal detectors. The Velocicoaster is easier because the detectors are in the actual line. But with Hulk, you gotta swing by the lockers here. So 90-minute actual wait. Let's see how long that single rider line wait is. Okay, before I put my stuff away, I asked how long the single rider wait was. He said it was pretty long. Only thing I can guarantee is 90 minutes or less. It's probably 45 minutes based on the vibe of what he said. I don't have 45 minutes. We're gonna come back to Hulk. Storm Force Accelatron instead. We are going to hop on 5-minute wait easy, and noting this attraction closes at 7 p.m. So we gotta do it now. And look, how nice is this compared to some of the other stuff we're doing? Storm Force done. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like this. I don't like Seuss Landing. Many things I'm not liking right now. This is why it's really important to look at park hours and event calendars when you are planning your Universal day. Of course, we've already ridden everything in Universal in one day. We know it can be done, but on a slam day where you might be contending with a 5 p.m. close in a park and everybody dumping into the other park because Halloween Horror Nights is happening, things can get wonky. It can get a lot harder to ride more. So plan your Universal days for the beginning of the week when Halloween Horror Nights isn't going on. And this isn't just true of Halloween Horror Nights, it's true year-round of any event. When you're planning your trip, make sure to look up event calendars. And remember that the official theme park websites will not always have all of the events. For instance, Disney will sometimes host races, and the parks will be way more crowded than you might expect. You can find out all news about what events these parks might be hosting on AllEars.net. We always try to update whenever we learn of anything that could affect crowd levels on your vacation. But don't you worry, because even if you do get caught unawares by some wonky crowds, you can still have a pretty darn good day, and maybe even ride everything at Universal Orlando. We're yet to see. We're not doing Dr. Doom's Fearfall. This one is kind of interesting because it is a kind of a reverse drop zone. Like, you still drop, but you go up fast and then down in slower increments. I find it less scary than a drop zone. I don't typically do like non-Tower of Terror drop zones, but this one I don't mind because it's up that you go fast and then down it's kind of slow. I walked right on. I'm waiting to board. These are the doors where we board. I made it. That was really easy. That ride's an adrenaline rush. The chute up is so shocking and exciting, and like it is really fun. And then you go down and it's kind of relaxing and you have an amazing view. Again, not really my jam typically, but I do love that. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay on time. Okay. Spider-Man, get soaked, do our troublemakers. Hagrid, that's the plan. Horrible news. Spider-Man's single rider line is closed. So it's getting roped in with the troublemakers, the things that we will handle on the way back as we head to Toon Lagoon. I think I should have done 2 more rides this morning before going over to Universal Studios. I think I still could have made it happen at Universal Studios. So we'll learn for next time because it is kind of the second busy season in Orlando right now, which means a second busy day do everything no express attempt could be in the cards for me if we don't make it happen tonight. Look at this. The website lied to us. 7 p.m. Popeyes closes. Said 8 p.m. this morning. Good thing maybe the Spider-Man single rider line being closed was a blessing in disguise. All right, lockers for this ride are actually not complimentary. I am gonna get one just really quickly because I don't wanna get this camera wet and my sweater will shrink. So I'm gonna get a locker quickly. All these lockers aren't available, so I'm gonna go use the ones by Dudley's, ride Dudley's, then ride Popeye's. So Popeye and Pluto's Bill Drop Barges, spiel them both, I'll get double wet. You'll see. Popeye and Pluto's Bill Drop Barges is a raft ride. It is my favorite raft ride. You get absolutely soaked on this thing. The rapids go, there are thrilling drops, there's exciting gags and funny Popeye themed like water shooting at you. I really love Popeye and Pluto's Bill Drop Barges, but you do get really insanely soaked, like insanely super really soaked. It's wild. Dudley Do-Ice Ripsaw Falls, you also tend to get soaked, but you can escape scot-free if you get lucky with how you land. This one, instead of being a raft ride, is a log flume, a la Splash Mountain, but a little more traditional. You are deep in that log flume. Your legs are pretty much wrapped around the person in front of you. It is an extremely difficult ride vehicle to get in and out of, and it's a higher drop than Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I've been calling it Splash Mountain. Were you guys yelling at me? That's the spiel that's locked into my head for Dudley's. But it's a big old drop. It's a very thrilling drop. I always get a little shocked when I'm up at the top, which I'm sure I will right now. I wish I could take the camera to show you guys the view. It is scary. But I am gonna pop y'all in a locker, knock out both Dudley's and Popeye and Pluto's, which I have to do because they both close at 7. Lockers are this way for Dudley's, and I'll see you guys when I'm covered in water. Our finale of wrongs continue. My locker at Rip Ride Rocket is still active, so I can't use the locker here or at Hulk. So I'll have to get it fixed to go on Hulk, but I'm just gonna put my camera and stuff in my bag once we get up there and cover it with, shield it with my body. My sweater's getting wet. It is what it is. This is what we do for the challenge. You can even get wet in line because the track leaks above you. This is a very goofy ride. I loved it as a kid, loved it. Now I'm kind of like, wow, this needs some TLC. Probably not gonna get it because I don't know if you know this, but Dudley Do-Ice is not the most popular property, but still. All gone very downhill since I last saw you all. I was able to ride both the water rides. I skidded into Popeye and Pluto's Bill Drop Barges on the edge of my heels. One wheel, whatever, I got there. I'm soaked. My whole, everything about me is soaked to the bone. But what I really have to tell you about is what happened to me on Dudley Do-Ice Ripsaw Falls, and that is that the ride vehicle, which I told you all is difficult to get in and out of, I've never sat in the front. The front has very little legroom, not enough for someone who is 5'9". They were like, straighten your legs, and I was like, they're at the front of the boat. And they were like, okay. And then when the ride stopped and I tried to get out, I could not get out. And a teenage boy said, are you okay? And I said, no. And the team member said, bend your legs backwards. And I said, what? And then the teenage boy, I asked him to hold my things. A teenage boy, I fear teenagers, although this one was very nice. If you're watching, teenage boy who held my things so I could get out of the ride, thank you so much. I was so stuck and alone. I was able to get out when he was holding on to my things. So, as you can see, I survived. Last hour now, obviously. We're back to our troublemakers. And I'm soaking wet, so that's where we're at. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start talking about some of my takes. As we get to the end of the day, I'm starting to see how this is going. And you'll notice I'm walking past the Incredible Hulk coaster and the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. Both of them are still at the high weights. And frankly, your girl wants Hagrid's above all else. So we are headed to do our final Seuss rides and Hagrid's, which is gonna put us 2 below our final count Now, I still consider 28 rides a massive success, especially on an extremely busy day. It is Halloween Horror Nights season, the week before Halloween, on a Friday. Extremely busy day for Universal, those Halloween Horror Nights weekends in October. We still made it through almost every single ride in both parks. We missed some big ones. Spider-Man and Hulk are big ones. But maybe if we would have skipped out on Roller Coaster or Jimmy Fallon and Kang and Kodos, we easily could have shifted our priorities to do a ride that we're a little bit more interested in. And I think that is a pretty killer day, except for when a teenage boy had to help me out of a ride vehicle because I'm almost 30, I guess, and too tall for Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls. Horrible news, everyone. Look at that. And it's 7:41. The park closes in 20. I don't think there's a world where I make it back to the other three, so we're actually calling this 3 shy of a completed Universal day on this busy day. So Hagrid's it is. End of the night, big finale. Back where it all began, Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Frankly, this is my #1 must-do in Universal. I actually had all of my must-dos today. I have 10 minutes before I have to be in that last Hagrid's line. And so I got a pretzel and a chicken pasty. The pretzel, they gave it to me for free for a little magic, which is really nice, and I think I needed that. I'm gonna eat it and then we're gonna ride Hagrid's. All right, we've got an alleged 130-minute wait for Hagrid's. I'm seeing people walk out of the single rider line, which seems ominous. And it is, wait, 2 minutes before park close that we're walking in. Success. That's a lot of rides on a very slammed day. Hagrid's, here I come. FYI, Hagrid's wait time, accurate at the end of the night. It was 130 minutes, like all in the dot. Final step count, 26,000 steps. I'm happy with my performance, but I kind of want to take on another busy day to see if we can do them all. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. And now go watch Emma ride every single ride here at Universal Orlando in just one day. We'll see you there.